Hello everyone, I'm Darcy Clark at Yoga Therapy Toronto, where today I'm going to walk you through a practice that you can do before you go to bed. A practice that helps to release some of the day's tension out of the hips and the shoulders and the legs, and also just lets your mind settle and quiet as you tune into the breath. So feel free to do this practice either right in your bed, or you can also do it on the floor on a yoga mat if you've got it. So let's begin resting on the back. So come onto your back with your knees into your chest and just gently hug the knees in, trying to keep the shoulders nice and settled into the floor. And with one hand rested on each knee, we'll do some circles, circling the knees away from the body and then circling them back in. And try to sync up this movement with your breath so that as you breathe in, your knees come away from your body. And with your exhale, the knees come into the body. Pausing and circling slowly in the other direction. Letting the movement stay nice and slow so it stays conscious along with your breath. And then pause again in the center, resting one hand still on each knee, fingers facing the feet. And now we'll move the knees in opposite directions. So as you breathe in, let both knees come away from the body so the arms straighten. And then stretch the legs, the knees away from each other. Exhale as you draw them back in and together. So with each inhale, the knees come apart. And with each exhale, the knees come together again. So finding just a little more movement here in your hips. And always moving within your own comfortable range of motion. Just noticing how tight your hips feel tonight. And then pause again and go in the other direction, circling nice and slowly. With each inhale, letting the knees come away. And with each exhale, hugging them back in. And then with your next exhale, keep the knees into your chest. And bring your right hand over to your left knee. And then let the left arm come out to the ground right at shoulder level. And then slowly guide your knees over to the right. Try to keep them as high towards the chest as it's comfortable for your lower back here. And so nuzzle and settle your upper back into the ground. You may need to do a bit of adjusting here to feel nice and rested across your upper back. And just notice you may feel some tension around the hip. You can even be here and gently massage in and around that hip, kneading out any of those knots and kind of bruise-like sensations you find there. You can run the hand along the outer thigh, massaging along the tighter IT band that runs there down towards the knee. So just being gentle and breathing here. You can turn the head if you like, letting the head either stay centered or letting it turn a little to the left. But if that doesn't feel good for the neck, then just keep it centered. You can let the eyes close and tune in to how the breath moves here. With your next exhale, just roll back onto the back, knees into the chest again, and settle back into the floor. So keep your right arm out to the side, bring the left hand over to that opposite knee, and guide your knees now to the left, letting them rest on the ground. So here again, you want to stay rooted across your upper back as much as possible. So I'm going to shift my shoulders over to the left a little bit so that I can rest this right shoulder closer to the floor. Now, if you've got lots of tension here, you might feel a bit of a stretch through the front of the pec muscle there, or around the armpit or the chest. And that's normal. It's just from mostly a kind of posture with the shoulders forward. So this is a great pose to help open up the chest there and just allow the shoulder to get heavier towards the ground. It may not get all the way to the floor. Just do what you can. And then once again, head centered or turned towards the right. And go ahead again if you like and reach across to that top hip, the right hip, with your left hand, and gently knead and massage through those tight spots. It's quite normal to have these tight spots. It can be quite shocking at first if you've never massaged around that area and just noticed how tight the hips can get. And then just let yourself rest here, closing your eyes, and feel the rise and fall of the belly. And then breathe in, bring your head back to center and roll onto the back again. And then just take both feet to the floor, resting both feet here on the ground, bringing the knees, bending them. Now take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee, and flex that right foot so your heel comes away from the body, toes towards you. Just going for a gentle flex there. And then try to feel your right knee coming away from the body. That's it. And this may be enough of a stretch for you around your hip. If you want to take it further, you can take your left foot off the ground and interlace your fingers underneath that left thigh, and gently hugging that left knee in towards you as you keep your right knee going away from the body. So the tendency is that right knee is going to want to come in, bring it away. That's it. And as you do this, become aware of the shoulders. Let them go. Let them rest into the ground so you're not introducing any new tension there in the shoulders and the neck. And then tune into the breath. As you breathe here, feel free to let the body move. As you breathe in, the belly fills, the legs can come a bit away from the body. And then with the exhale, as the belly draws in, the knees can come in a little closer. So you're just exploring the edge of your comfort here, the edge of your stretch, and just going for a really nice, fairly subtle movement with your breath. And then with your next inhale, bring your left foot back to the floor, uncross your leg, bring your right foot down. And take a moment here. And cross your left ankle over the right knee. Draw that left knee away from your body. Open up through the left hip. Just notice how this hip feels compared to the other one. Could be tighter, could be a little looser. And then if you feel like you want to go a little further, you can bring your right foot off the ground, interlace your fingers behind your leg. Let this right knee stay nice and bent. Just let it relax as you draw the right knee in closer with each exhale. Be sure to relax with each inhale. Find the breath. Let it come into the body. And then with each exhale, you may be able to deepen it. And as you do this movement with your breath, nice and subtle, nice and slow, just stay aware of any unnecessary tension there in the upper body. Feel the shoulders, the upper back, settling into the ground. And let go of any tension you feel in the neck, and try to loosen into your jaw. then with your next inhale, release again. Both feet back to the floor. And with your next exhale, let's bring the knees into the chest again. Just notice how the low back and the hips feel now. And then from there, bring your right arm up by your ear and roll over onto your right side. You can let that right arm act as a bit of a pillow here. Then push down with your left hand and nice and slowly come on up to sitting. Okay. So stretch with both legs, sit with both legs out in front of you. Now, if you find that this brings a lot of tension in the hips and the lower back, then sit up on a couple of folded blankets, okay? Put a couple of folded blankets or a pillow underneath your sitting bones. Now let's bring the right knee into the body, right foot in, and then turn that knee out to the side. And here again, if you find your knee up quite a ways and bringing more tension into the thigh, then just again bring a pillow or something to support this right knee. So your knee can rest down into something if it's not coming all the way to the floor. And be long through the left leg. Find that length through the left heel as you draw your toes towards you. So this is going to stretch out some of that tension we find in the legs here. So take your hands into the ground right beside your hips and roll your shoulders back as you breathe and get up nice and tall with the spine. And then with your exhale, try to come forward with your hips first. So try not to round your back. Lengthen through the spine here. You may not be able to come forward a whole lot without rounding the back. So just go as far as you can. And then take your hands in front of you wherever they comfortably land. They could stay there. They could be a little forward of the leg. And breathe here. Again, with each exhale, as you find some more of that length in the spine, you may find more space for you to come forward. Just do what's comfortable for both your back and your left leg. And then for the last couple breaths here, just gently let your back comfortably round. Okay, so you're not hunching the shoulders up towards the ears to make that happen. Keep the shoulders down and just bring your chest further forward, your head further forward, as far as the body lets you go comfortably. And then stay here, breathing into your back. Feeling the movement of the breath into the backs of the ribs. And then with your next inhale, nice and slowly come on back up. Stretch out the right leg, bending the left knee. Now another option in these forward bends is to have some support in front of you. So you can have a chair. You can do this in front of a chair if you like. In case you're not going far forward and you're up here and you find a lot of tension, then feel free to come only as far as you're comfortable with, and then you can rest onto the chair. So you can bring your forearms onto the chair and rest your head. So this way you can allow the body to relax and settle here. And it's also really nice to have your head resting into something. Just kind of draining out all the worries out of the head. As you find your breath, once again, moving into your back. And feel free to go deeper if the body lets you, walking your hands further forward and releasing further over that right leg. But no need to push yourself in this practice. This practice is about letting the body soften, letting the body relax, and letting the breath slow down. All right, and then slowly come on back up. Stretch out your legs. All right. Now we'll take the practice to the wall. So if your bed is against the wall, you're free to do this on your bed. You can also do this again on the floor. Okay, so if you've got a yoga mat, take it to the wall, the short end of your yoga mat against the wall. So you've got the length of the mat behind you. And then come and sit right close towards the wall, sideways. And bend your knees, bring your hands into the ground behind you a bit. And then come on down onto your forearms so that you can swing your legs up and over onto the wall. Now if you notice there's lots of space between your bum and the wall, see if you can gently kind of inchworm your way closer to the wall. And just coming as close as it's comfortable for the backs of your legs. This is a really quite a nice stretch for the backs of the legs, into the hamstrings, and even all the way into your lower back. So if your bum is not against the wall, that's quite all right. If your hamstrings are quite tight, your bum probably will want to be a little further away from the wall, okay? So with your legs up the wall, backs of the heels on the wall, just let the legs relax here. So you don't have to hold at all. So if the legs flop a little bit, that's fine. Relax the feet, relax the knees. Make sure the knees are not locking here. And then bring the arms a bit away from your body. Slide your shoulder blades down the back. And you can either have your palms to the sky, which will help to open up a little more across the chest and relax and release any tension in the shoulders. Or you can bring your hands to your belly, which sometimes brings a sense of comfort into the body and the mind, and just brings a little more relaxation. So whatever it is you need this evening. So let your eyes close here and just begin to feel the weight of your legs releasing down into your hips. Finding the softness of your thighs, letting them go, and feeling the weight of your thighs resting down into your hips. And then become aware of the back of your pelvis. Feel the base of your spine resting into the floor. And feel the whole length of your spine, nice and heavy, settling towards the floor. Become aware of any tension there in your neck. So often when we're on our backs, the chin points towards the ceiling, and that brings a little bit of constriction into the back of the neck. But it also, when the chin is high like this, keeps the brain active. So see if you can lower the chin slightly lower than the forehead, so you're pointing your chin more towards the chest. Try to keep the throat nice and relaxed, and just feel the back of your head, the base of your skull really, resting into the floor. Letting the head feel nice and heavy, and then become aware of your face, softening and letting go of any expression you're holding there. So your eyes can soften. Can feel the activity of your eyes begin to slow down. And just imagine your eyes are like two still pools of water, nice and deep and calm. Become aware of your cheeks, letting them soften. And letting your lower jaw release away from your upper jaw. Finding softness there in the hinge of your jaw. Let the cheeks relax along with your lips and your throat. Just feel what you feel in the legs. Sometimes as we're here and we're not used to it, There can be numbness or tingling in the legs, so if you come across that, just feel free to bend the knees, bringing them into the chest for a couple of breaths, waiting for that sensation to subside. And then once it's gone, once again, let the legs come up. And tune into the breath for a couple more cycles. And when you're ready to come out, once again, bend the knees, bring them into the chest. Bring your arm, one arm up over the head and roll over onto your side, bringing the other hand into the floor in front of you. And just pause here for a couple of breaths. And slowly, when you're ready, pushing up to sitting. So I hope that has prepared you for a nice, deep, long sleep. Thank you for watching. Namaste.